welcome back. This is Sparks into Blazes. Today I want to talk about Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. It says, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord establisheth his steps." And idea is very simple, but it is very hard to trust in. We can make plans all day. I make plans all day. But at the end of the day, God has the final say. I can plan on going here, going there, taking this job or taking that job. God is going to have his way. And while it is good to make plans, it is good to have dreams. It is good to have aspirations, especially dreams and aspirations relating to serving the kingdom of God. It's a good thing. But also be open to the fact that in your service to God, remember, make him and make his plan your primary concern. It may even be a very good thing that you're looking at like, ooh, I want to do that. That would really help. Or maybe it's a job like, man, that's a perfect role for me. And it doesn't pan out. And I've had that happen to me. Why didn't it pan out, God? Why? It seems like it's the right thing. And the truth is, it doesn't always mean because God said no on this that there's actually something better waiting for you over here. That's actually not true. The blessing of God is not always about you or about me. The blessing of God is not always, here son, here daughter, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to bless you with stuff, a job, a relationship, etc., etc. It's not always about a positive, you're gaining something here. Sometimes the blessing of God is no. You cannot have that. Why? Because I said so. I have kids. It's one of the hardest things for them to understand. No, why? Because I said so. Not because I'm a cruel parent. I actually have reasons like, no, you can't play with that because it's sharp and you're kind of clumsy. I don't want you to poke your eye out. And you don't always have to explain that to your kid. In the same way, God and his higher understanding of how things work sometimes says no. Why? Because I said so. And that is a lesson, and that is a trial, and do you trust me? Do you trust me? That's what he's asking you. Are you more looking for what God can hand you? Are you looking for a handout from God more than you're looking for the person of God? Are you actually in a place where you care and you love and you are submitted to the person of Jesus Christ, or are you just looking for Jesus to just give you stuff? Because that's not what he's about. And I'll go as far to say this. I have been the most blessed by God in my life at points where I had less than $200 in my bank account and very little to my name. Let me explain that. Sometimes the blessing of God is to put you in situations where you have nothing left, whether that's fiscal things, whether that's relationships, whether that's just energy to keep going. You just have no drive. And why? That seems like it's horrible. It seems like you're at rock bottom. That's not a good thing. That's actually a blessing, or at least it can be. It depends on how you make it, because it puts you in such a bind and it puts you in such a position where now you have to trust God. You are put in a place where your faith is being tested, and you have a chance to prove to God how much you love him and to show him, I love you, Lord. And when you do that, I'm not ever going to say that God is just a blessing God that will just shower you and all kinds of stuff. No, it's not the case. But he is there and he is out for your good. Believer. He is out for your good. And he's out for the general good of mankind, and that he does not desire that any should not be saved. He desires that all should be saved. The Bible is very clear about that. There's not a person on earth where God is like, no, I really want them to burn in hell. Like, no, that's not true. Or even just suffer in a worldly way. Like, he desires that you should be saved, and he desires that you should come to a knowledge of him. And sometimes that includes or even requires suffering. Suffering is not a bad thing, Christian. I've had to learn this one, and it hurts. Even when I have suffering today, my first inclination is to sit there and be like, but why? And generally get mad about it. That's just how I am. I get angry really quick, and I have to check it, which I'll be honest, I oftentimes don't do. And I have to later come back and be like, Lord, I'm sorry, I messed up. I made a mess. Help me to fix the mess. And we fix the mess, and off we go. Sorry about that cut off, y'all. Had the phone fall over. Got it really, really haphazardly posted up right now. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You can plan out all kinds of stuff. You can even read the word and be fully seeking God's will, fully submitted to God, and God will still allow you to go through trials. Because here's the truth. When you pray for patience, what are you really asking God for? Is he going to come down and like a little fairy or something, sprinkle you with some dust, be like, patience, here it is. Or love, here it is. No, what is he going to do? He's going to put you in situations where the one thing in the world that you don't want to do is be patient. You ask God for the love of Christ towards the unbelievers and towards those around you, because you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I kind of am a POS in all truth to the people around me. Been there, done that. What happens? I'll tell you what happens, because I've experienced this. God sends people into your life that, man, they're not unlovable, but they're like 2 steps, if that, away from that point. Like, these are hard people to even talk to, let alone love. And when we look at it from that kind of standpoint, you begin to understand that to have challenges, to have sufferings in life is not to say that you are behind. As a matter of fact, you're learning lessons that most people in this life will never learn. And if you learn them right and then apply them right, you will be eons, maturity-wise, ahead of most of humanity. If you can learn from your sufferings, own your faults, come to Christ and say, I'm sorry, I messed up. When you do mess up and be open about that, man, it's a blessing in of itself. So when you have sufferings, when the road doesn't pan out how you think it should pan out, remember, you want God to grow you, right? Yeah, I'm sure you. You want to be more like Christ, hence the name Christian, be like Christ, you want to be a better Christian? Well, newsflash, man. Jesus Christ was hated by pretty much the entirety of all the popular and uppity people in his nation. Everyone who had power in Israel was not very, they were not very kind to Jesus. There were very few people that had actual legitimate power and influence that, especially in the religious side, I'm referring mostly to the Pharisees, also the Romans, they hated him. He was hated. He was poor, extremely, by the way. Like, there's a verse, I remember this, where Jesus talked about the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. The foxes have holes and the birds have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Basically explaining to somebody saying, Lord, I'll follow you. Well, you really don't want to do that, sir, because you probably can't stand being quite literally homeless. And that was Jesus' way of saying, no, you don't have it in you to not have a place to put your head down at night. But anyway, he was poor, he was despised. He was the Son of God, is the Son of God. So when you're looking at your life like, get off there, get off, stupid spider. When you're looking at your life like, it's not looking like all these people on TikTok. Well, Jesus' life didn't either. If you're asking God to be more like Christ, do you want to be more like Christ? Well, newsflash, you're gonna Start losing stuff. Because to be like Christ is to be in the eyes of the popular, the uppity, the accomplished in this world, and I'm talking about the sinful, unsaved, unrepentant world, you're a loser. Embrace it. It's okay to be a loser. Because to them, the cross is foolishness. The Bible makes it exceedingly clear. To the world, the cross and everything associated with Christianity, it's foolish to them. If you're asking God to become closer to Him, if you are actually saying, Lord, you establish my steps, show me the way, lead me in the right way, that way might not look very glamorous, and that's okay. Because you're becoming more like Christ. Look, in 80 years total anyway, this will all more than likely be gone. 90% of the people watching this, including me, will be in the ground before we reach 80 years old. Anything you accrue or anything you build on this earth, what are you building it for? So it can rot. So the moths can come in and destroy and the thief can steal and all that stuff. That's why Jesus makes a point saying, don't store up treasures on earth, store up treasures in heaven. This is all going to burn one day. One day soon, I'm sure. Heaven is the only secure place to put your possessions, as he describes it, which in a literal sense more means don't prioritize the things on earth. What point is there? It's all going to be gone anyway. Prioritize the things of God. Be submitted to God. Let Him direct your path. It's good to plan. It's good to have plans. Gosh, like, what do you want me to do? Like, say, well, if the Lord wills and yada, 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 then I'll pay the water bill tomorrow. Like, no. You got to pay the water bill tomorrow. Put a reminder in your phone. That's a good thing to do. But at the same time, be open always, whether it's a water bill or a new job or a new relationship or a new anything, a new house. Be open, like, Lord, I have ideas, but ultimately, I'm not tore up about it if your answer is no in any respect. I'm certainly not tore up about it if your answer is not that one, but this one instead, or whatever. And is it bad to store up possessions on earth? Is it bad to be a Christian who has wealth? No, it's not. It's a good thing, honestly. I look at it from a position of, good job, you're a good steward. You have to have some kind of level of intelligence and good stewardship to, get somewhere financially, to accrue things. The problem begins when those things become an idol that exalts itself over God. And that also includes, in your efforts to put together wealth, to maintain wealth, are you spending more time, energy, all the good things of life? Are you sinking more resources into this wealth than you are God? And are you doing more for this wealth than you are for your family? Questions like that, And if you are putting more into the wealth than you are putting into your relationship with God, if you are more submitted to building your wealth than you are submitted to obeying God, then that wealth is a problem, because that wealth is quite literally an idol. Like Aaron smelting gold and making an idol calf, and the desert kind of idol. The kind of idol that God, the Father, about came off the mountain and just slew all the Israelites for. That kind of idol. Don't take it lightly. God doesn't take it lightly. You shouldn't take it lightly. It's the first commandment. Honor no other gods before me. Don't do it. Let the wealth go. Honestly, go toss it in the river if it's really that big of a problem. Because you don't want to be on the wrong side of God. You want to put Him first. And I've kind of gone around and around and around here, but my main thing is going to stay the same here. Put Christ first. Serious. Put Him first. If you don't know Christ as your Lord and Savior, then what the heck are you even doing still watching this video? I don't know, but you need to go deal with that right nice and quick. And, of course, for the Christians who are on here, take good, honest inventory of your life. Is there anything in your life, any plan, any possession, any relationship, any liberty even that you have that exalts itself in your life over your dedication to God? It's going to happen from time to time. It's not like, oh, those people, oh, they did a horrible thing. Like, no, you can be going fully in sync with God, doing your best to seek and serve the Lord, and there will just be something that creeps up. It happens to all of us. It happens to me daily, sometimes daily, Happens often enough. And happens often enough to anyone who's honest enough to talk about it. So, with that, I'll leave y'all. I pray for all of you. I pray that this channel is a blessing to all of you that see this. And I pray especially that if you do not know Christ, seek him. Believe in the finished work of Christ on the cross. And of course, if you know Christ, then give your all to him. Don't play around. Don't mince words. Give him your all. That's all for now. Y'all have a great day.